Hey, thanks for tuning in. My name's Kevin. This is
Johnny.
and we're BFAM.
And we are.
And we are BFAM.
Yeah.
This is our very first episode on our podcast, our video podcast, and today we're going to be covering how to grow how to grow up.
It's hard to talk, right?
Yeah. But today we're going to be talking about how to deal with growing up and growing apart from your friends. Johnny and I have been friends since about 2015, 2016.
Yeah, around there, yeah.
It's about 7-8 years now. I can't do that math. I'm not that kind of Asian.
Neither am I.
How did we first meet?
The way I remember how we first met was I was actually at a party, and then Jaden said his cousin was coming through. Should I be dropping Jaden's name?
That's fine, yeah.
Yeah.
That's totally fine because we're going to bring him on the show eventually.
Yeah. So I remember he said, "Oh, my cousin's gonna pull up," and you pulled up in this red clapped out Civic. And I was like, that guy drives a Civic. We're friends now.
Did we actually get introduced at that time?
Yes.
We did?
Like briefly.
Oh.
It was like maybe like for 40 minutes we were just like chilling, hanging out in the backyard. I can't remember whose backyard it was, but it was at a party. And then Jaden was like, "We needed something, so we called you." and you rolled up in your clapped out red Civic. So that was how I remember meeting you first.
I know what he needed.
Hey, we're young, okay?
I remember actually first connecting with you at Jaden's shop. Like actually having a conversation with Johnny at Jaden's shop. Jaden's my cousin, as you said, and Johnny was fixing up his car, and he was there using the shop, and I wanted to ask him what happened to his car, and then it turns out you fucked up your car. What happened with your car? Why was it there on the place?
Was that the SI?
It was the SI.
Yeah, so it was after a party, maybe the same party, and things got hot, and I was driving home. Some guy wanted to race, so I raced, and I was on not so good of tires for the weather, and
It wasn't me.
I ended up 2 wheels off the ground into a curb, and that was a life experience that for a car that I just bought.
It didn't stop there though. We have slightly different variations of how we met. We've maintained a pretty good relationship throughout the years.
Yeah.
I think one of the important things to know about maintaining a relationship as you get older is just finding ways to connect with the right people. Like, who your friends are through a lot of different kind of experiences that you're going to face throughout your life. Like for us, we're at a point in our relationship where it's slightly different now. I'll say that, but we're at a point in our relationship where we don't really need to talk. But when we do talk, it's like nothing has changed. And I feel like it's these kind of moments with these kind of people that are particularly important for you, because you really know who your real friends are at this point.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree with that, because I guess when you meet people, you just have this certain connection with, and this is like after high school too. And after high school, like you lose you lose connection with a lot of the high school homies. You know what I mean? So it's really the people that you meet after high school that it's whether you can bond with them or not. And usually those relationships after high school are the ones that you keep with, not the ones that you were in high school with,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of our favorite memories together. What's one right off the top of your head?
Favorite memories together comes off the top of my head would have to be just driving on the freeways. Or we don't have freeways.
We don't have freeways here.
It's highways. And just maybe breaking the law a little bit, and just countless nights of just cruising, and just having this guy as my co-pilot and stuff like that.
Passenger princess.
Yes, we went through a lot of crazy shenanigans, I should say, and near-death experiences, which was fun, And then you look back, and obviously we're still alive, and to look back and talk about it.
Am I here?
To look back and talk about it is good. It's fond memories that always come up, and I think they'll always be something that you remember throughout your years.
Yeah. It's like this meme that I sent him. That's how we conversate these days. We don't really talk to each other. We just send memes to each other.
Sometimes I wake up and there's like memes just blowing up on my phone.
He doesn't even look at it.
I don't respond to them.
But there's this meme that I showed him, and it said, "How can you really be friends if you guys haven't almost died together, then laughed about it later?"
100%.
Yeah. Like that time on Route 90.
Yes. Yeah. So Route 90 is a stretch of road, and just sometimes you gotta let open the cars, because I'm into cars and stuff like that. So we were always driving in my car and stuff, and I always took this guy to new places with my car. He didn't think that anyone could drive like that, but I showed him.
He showed me.
Yeah.
He showed me, like, I can't drive. Like, we know this. Like,
Asian driver.
In my clapped out Civic, I tried heel toeing it, and it's an automatic, and I smoked a fence pole.
There's nothing to heel toe in an automatic. That's the sad part.
Yeah, I think it's one of my favorite memories too. Is where, he was driving and I was sitting passenger. We had one of my other cousins sitting in the back seat, Lamb, and we were driving down Inkster, and there was a blue. It was blue, right? Or it was a white?
No, it was a couple other cars. Yeah,
it's a couple of RSXs that wanted to race, and this guy decided that he was gonna show them what he showed me, and we just went flying down the road. And the whole time I was like, oh, this would be a great opportunity to record, right, just for fun. And the whole time I had my phone up against my chest because I wanted to see what was happening on the road, because I thought I was gonna die. Hitting the first subject in this episode. Oh, fuck, that took a while. Talking so much about all this other stuff. One of the first things that we want to talk about is navigating the transitions in life as you're coming out of your young adulthood into your, I don't know what to call it, your old adulthood. You're going to be experiencing things in your life that you didn't really have to think about or plan. So, like, for example, maybe you're just fresh out of high school and you're going into college, right? One of the things that Johnny just talked about was you think you have a tight group of friends while you're in high school, and then once you get out of high school, things start to become a little bit more challenging, and finding times to hang out with some of your friends and do things with them, right? And when you're going to college, obviously some people are not going to go to the same school as you. So how do you handle staying out of touch with some of the people that you thought you were really close with?
Like staying in touch with them?
Yeah, staying in touch with them, or just dealing with it.
Well, I mean, everybody gets busy with their own lives after high school, because everyone is trying to find their own path in life, I guess, their careers, or like their own little clique, you know what I mean? So everyone gets separated. One way, if you're really serious about maintaining that friendship, is obviously, at the holidays or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. Always like say, what are you guys doing? Do you guys want to come over? Or even just message them, say, try to keep in touch like that way, right? Just even a simple message, because sometimes people forget, and that's how people grow apart from each other. And obviously, like in high school, a lot of those people that you meet in high school will hang out with you and become your homies and stuff, just because you all stuck together in high school. You know what I mean? Like you guys go to the same school, see each other every day, so you guys make plans throughout the day to hang out after school, right? But obviously, when people graduate, don't go to school anymore, that communication has stopped. So now it's up to those two individuals to communicate to each other, let's hang out, right? And usually those people that don't, they're just homie hoppers, you know what I mean? That's what I call it, they're homie hoppers.
That's a weird way to put it.
Yeah.
But no, I totally agree. But a good thing to keep in mind too, that it's not necessarily a bad thing to, find a new group of friends, when you get into college and you start hanging out with a new group of people. Because keep in mind that me and Johnny, we didn't meet when we were in high school. We didn't meet after high school. Oh, sorry. Well, yeah, we met after high school, but like much later on. Like I was like, we were in our mid-20s already. I think we're only 1 year apart. We were trying to figure that out, how old we were.
I forgot how old I was. So
I'm 32. He's 31.
Yeah.
And our birthdays are actually 1 week apart, a year and a week apart.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you're gonna meet people later on in your life, and they might stick around for the rest of your life, man. Like I'm pretty sure that this guy's gonna be he's gonna be in for the long run.
Yeah.
I've had he explains that you go in high school and you hang out with the same clique, for the sake of high school, because you're there. You always have that constant communication. I had a varying groups of different friends in high school, and I thought I would bring into my adulthood, but all these people that I used to hang out with in high school, I don't see them anymore. I don't talk to them anymore. Johnny is now my closest friend. He's my best friend.
You're not mine.
Okay. Well, thanks for watching. Peace, guys. This is the last episode.
It's the first and the last.
The next thing that we're going to talk to you guys about is maintaining your friendships. And Johnny spoke a little bit about what you can do, or how it's each individual's responsibility to reach out to one another. It's a two-way street. Both people, or all people, have got to make it work somehow, right? What are some good tips on maintaining friendships?
Good tips on maintaining friendships is, well, you don't want to be the only one to initiate that hangout. You know what I mean? Like it has to be both ways, or else that, because like for me, if a person never calls me up, but expects me to call them up all the time, it doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? Like I want you to be able to be like, yo, you want to hang out or something like that too. Because if I'm always doing it, it's like I'm bothering you to hang out with me, and you don't want anyone to deal with me. You know what I mean? So an invitation to you is necessary as well. Don't be the one that's following you. You ain't a chaser.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And like we get it. Like people are gonna be busy with their lives doing their own things too. But like, as an individual, you really got to recognize what's important for your time. For your sake too, mental health wise too. There are times where you're gonna be challenged in life. You're gonna be in a rut, and really all you need to do is just hang out with one of your boys. That's all you need, man. That's the most value that you're gonna get. It's like there's no amount of money that you're gonna get, no amount of women that you're gonna get that's gonna satisfy you to the extent where that you have a long and meaningful relationship with a friend. Yeah,
I agree. Just because like when you find that small group of friends, it could be one or two friends. It doesn't have to be five. You know what I mean? Sometimes that's all you end up with, and even if you haven't spoken to them in forever, but the times that you do get together, it's like just yesterday. It feels like just yesterday, I should say. Right? Every conversation is free. Every conversation is like on equal terms. No one thinks you're better than another. No one's trying to put one person down. Jokes are all the same. If I make fun of him, you can make fun of me. No one gets mad.
Like when he hurt my feelings earlier.
All the time. You know what I mean? I do it on the daily. It's my job, and it's just that like doesn't matter where you are in life. When you get together, it should feel humble. You should feel like you're in a safe place when you're with that person, guy or girl, right? And it's like that's something that you should look forward to. Doesn't matter how many friends you have, right? Doesn't matter how large your group of people are, because sometimes a larger group of people that you're friends with can cause issues within that inner circle as well.
That kind of drama sucks.
Yes, you don't want to be stuck in that type of drama, right? Because it's unfair sometimes, right? And it breaks up your inner circle as well. When you start introducing other people into that inner circle, it'll all fall apart at the end, right?
Unless you're like our story. I was introduced to his circle.
Yeah, but then when we broke,
it just worked out.
Yeah, and then that circle kind of blew up and broke apart, but the true ones kind of remained,
And maintaining these kind of friendships is super fulfilling for yourself as well. That's a key thing to keep in mind too.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have one of these friends, like whether you're introduced externally or someone that you grew up with, someone that you're still maintaining contact with, it is always good to maintain that, because it's going to give you fulfillment. It's going to make you feel good. And no one wants to be alone in this world.
Yeah. Doesn't matter how much you say you're a lone wolf or I don't need anybody. At the end of the day, it'd be kind of nice to talk to somebody. So we all need that one or two special somebodies to talk to when you're feeling down, depressed, and whether you're in a relationship too. Sometimes you could talk to your significant other about everything, like if you're married and stuff like that, or your fiance or your girlfriend. Yeah, you two can be best friends, right? But it's always nice to have that friend to rely on as well with that.
Yeah, like obviously we all know this is no secret. There are things that you can and cannot say to your significant other that you can say openly around your closest friends.
Right.
One thing I do want to mention in regards to maintaining friendships, one of my favorite things that Johnny has done consistently throughout our friendship is it's not just us hanging out as friends, but as family too. So every single year around Thanksgiving or around Christmas time, he always invites us over to go to his mom's place, and then we'll have dinner. When we'll have a potluck, we'll bring our own food, and we'll just enjoy each other's company. That's one of my favorite things that he does on a consistent basis.
Yes, that is very that is very important. Just because I feel like one of the most times that people connect and have a really, I guess, intimate bond is when people get together and eat together. Because when you're stuffing your faces in front of each other,
Yes.
you're very vulnerable, right? so it's good to get those loved ones and your closest friends that you consider family to come and eat together, and that's very important to me. Like I always tell my fiance as well that it's important for us to eat together, even though like we have very different schedules and our times are way off. We'll still make that time, even if it's like half an hour to an hour, to grab a meal together, whether it's lunch, dinner, or even just I'll like call her online, like FaceTime or whatever, and I'll eat with her while she's eating, on FaceTime or whatever too, because that's very important, I guess. Maybe is it an Asian thing? I don't know. Maybe it's just a general thing.
I feel like it's an Asian thing.
I think so, right? Because when you go to your grandma's house and stuff, she feeds you right away, right? It shows love, you know what I mean?
Like even like when Johnny's got his own house and I got my own place too, like I still have my parents calling up and asking me if I ate.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
like
right?
it's just a thing.
And then like same with my mom too. She'll, even though I moved down and stuff, she'll call me and actually no, she won't call me. She'll just make the food that I like and expect for me to go there without calling me. So I just randomly show up, and she's always like, "Oh, I made this for you," and I'll just dig in. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, it's an Asian thing. The next thing that we want to talk about is coping with change. When you're going through these things, obviously it's not going to turn out well. Like some of the examples that we've given out, we have a great relationship, so we don't really need to cope with too much change in our lives. We do, but we find a way to compromise for each other. But there are going to be times where no matter how much you compromise, you're just not going to be able to maintain some of your friendships. So let's talk about how do you cope with that.
well, I mean, honestly, you just gotta let it go sometimes. You can't feel hurt when someone doesn't want to hang out with you sometimes, or they get busy with their lives too. That the world doesn't revolve around you. Their world definitely doesn't revolve around you. So you have to focus on your own sometimes. And I have to say, like, the 20s and like late 20s is like the time that you really kind of push everything aside and really have to focus on your own career, kind of figure out what you want to do, because you don't want to be left behind in life in a sense, right? So of course people are gonna separate and then you might feel lonely, but you have to still remember that they're busy with their own lives as well. Or maybe they have a kid, their family, that becomes their priority. Hanging out is not a priority anymore because they have their family, their job, their business. Some people are grinding it 24/7. They don't have no time to sleep. That's it. So that's just coping with it, right? And then adjusting to it too. It's like you have to try to adjust your time schedules that you can hang out, or say maybe even once a year. Sometimes that's all you need is just once a year. Sometimes that's all the time that people have, right? And it's just like sometimes people are exhausted from work, after work. They don't want to talk to anyone, just do their own thing. And that's understandable.
Yeah.
Right?
Like going home after work, looking at memes, sending it to your best friend, and then taking a nap for like 4 hours, then losing sleep and coming to work grumpy and not saying hello to your best friend. And in case I didn't mention that already, we actually work together now, which is pretty cool. So like, even though when we
You're
met,
stuck with them 24/7. Help.
even though when we met, we had like kind of different worlds, right? But then later on in life, we found a way to kind of mix our worlds together. So now, yeah, we're stuck together like 24/7, and especially now since we're making videos together.
Yeah, even more now.
Sometimes you're gonna lose friends. Sometimes you're gonna go through life and you're gonna think you're gonna have all these people that are super tight with you. And I know I sound repetitive, but you're gonna think that the people, even like people that you grow up with, you're gonna grow apart from, and you guys might not be friends anymore. And that's okay. That's okay, because you have a lot of time to live your life, and some people are just placed in your life for a certain reason. You know, like, not that anyone's a tool or anything for you to use them. It's just everyone serves a purpose in your life, and it's not up to you to figure out what that purpose is. But I'm gonna say this because it's going into the next topic. But you're going to have to embrace some of these relationships that you have, and you're gonna have to embrace some of the things that are gonna come with it, like losing that friendship. You know, you guys probably share some great memories and stuff, but there may be a point in your life where it's time to move on. I can give you an example of this. My ex-best friend before this guy, it's weird.
Ex-best friend.
He's my new best friend. And the ex-best friend he's a no-no.
And that new.
But my previous best friend, I went to high school with him. I had a great relationship with him. We were tight. We did everything together. Even after high school, we hung out for a few more years before I became a father. And like, we would just do everything together. We'd hang out together all the time and stuff. But then after I had a kid, this is where navigating transition in your life. After I had a kid, things started changing. I didn't have time to hang out. I didn't have time to mess around. I had to figure out how to grow up quickly. I had to get a job and work this job. And it was odd hours. I was working like overnight and stuff like that. But my mentality changed too. I couldn't just go out and have fun and just waste time, because I had more important things to do. I had a family now, right? And because of this, I felt like this created a greater distance between my best friend and I. Eventually, when my son got a little bit older and I had more time to hang out with some of my friends, I tried hanging out with this guy, and he had shown no growth personally. He still wanted to have fun, waste money, go drinking and doing all this stuff that I couldn't do because I had more responsibilities. And when I did hang out with him, it was kind of one-sided. Like, I wanted to spend time with him, but he had other intentions. He had a hidden agenda, right? Like, he had financial goals, or I don't know how to say it. He had financial reasons to hang out with me because I was working a job and I had money, and he had no money. That's how it was in high school. And this is what I mean by no personal growth. He always, whenever he had money, he would always spend it on things that he didn't need. And like, when we finally got to reconnect, and it was only because I was able to front him a little bit of money so that he can do this or that with it, things that didn't make sense to me, right? So when I finally caught on and realized that he wasn't really hanging out with me to be my friend, he was hanging out with me because I was giving him financial support, that's when I decided that, it's time to cut this relationship. Like, I told him, like, he asked to borrow some money from me. I gave him some money, and he told me when he was gonna pay me back. Now, it was a small amount of money, so I didn't really care too much, but if you're gonna promise something, deliver on your promise, And so I followed up with him. I asked him, I was like, hey, you gonna pay me back? And he scene zoned me. Just read the message, didn't respond. And I waited like 2 days, and I found a message, and I was like, you know what, man? Don't worry about paying me back. It's totally fine. You probably need it more than I do, but I don't think that we can hang out anymore. And like, I wish you the best of luck. And that's the last I ever spoke to him. Never saw him again.
Damn, bro, you let him get away with your money?
It was $40.
$40, $40.
It's tough times in this economy.
Man, we live in Canada. That shit's
Notice,
expensive.
notice I kept saying when I had money. I don't have money now. Now I know I talked a little bit about this already, about embracing change. What are your thoughts on it?
Embracing change. I think at first it comes pretty harsh, you know, because you start realizing that the friends that you used to hang out with disappear. People have their own lives that you have to deal with, right? But after that, embracing the changes, because you start meeting new people in the career field or that have the same passion as you, because you start reaching out and finding your own life. So you start finding what you like to do, and you find people that like to do that too, and you meet a lot of new people where those people you can actually build a connection with easier, and they're also in the same boat as you for maturity, you know, how mature you are, and you have set goals the same as you too, you know. So just embracing that, it's always a good thing, you know. Don't be scared to go out and say you like photography, meet new photographers. Maybe you'll find that connection there, and those are the guys that you'll click with, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like we pretty much met basically through cars. You know, we both like cars.
Yeah.
He likes it a lot more than I do, and is a lot more knowledgeable than I am. But I'm getting there, slowly. Starting to get familiar with some of the parts.
Yeah. Yeah, I think with that it comes with a lot of pain too, because obviously it's like an endless cycle of rinse and repeat. You know, you'll meet these new people, and then sometimes you'll start hanging out more, and you start realizing, I don't really like this guy's attitude or this guy's way of life. You know, people have their way of lives that you don't like, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you realize maybe how crazy they are, or how like kind of boring they are, you know. But that's good though, because now you can not pick and choose, but it kind of just weeds itself out.
Yeah.
Right? So instead of hanging out with bad people or the wrong group, it just weeds themselves out, and you just kind of distance yourself away from that, saying, oh man, these guys are like, at first they were cool, and all of a sudden you start to get to know them, they're not who you think they are, right? And but you got to take that and learn from it every single time until you find that right person or right group of friends. And then once you find that right group of friends, things start to kind of come in line too. Like your career will come in line too. They'll be happy for you, they'll support you, and it just comes in. It's like a bleeding effect. It just happens all at once sometimes, and just embrace it. You know, don't be scared of it. You know, change is sometimes good, and sometimes some of the hardest steps are the best steps to take, because you learn the most from those hardest steps and the struggle of it in life in general, and you come up stronger from those struggles. You know, you come up a better person yourself, because who knows, maybe you're the shitty person that needed to grow up from that friend group, you know what I mean? And some do it later than others, and you just come up stronger from it, right?
Yeah. Self-awareness is key. It's key to your personal growth. So you really know when you're growing, when you can start to realize, like you said, that maybe you're the toxic friend, maybe you're not the great friend, maybe people don't really want to hang out with you. But when you become aware of this, then you know what to fix. You know how you can improve on your life. On like, you start to ask yourself questions like, well, why don't they want to hang out with me? Why aren't they talking to me? Like, is it because I'm doing this or that? And then you figure out how to navigate that, and you figure out what to fix in your life, like your job too, right? Money's always going to be an important thing for everyone's lives, and you don't want to be working a dead-end job that either makes you no money or makes you miserable. Those two things go hand in hand. There's going to be a balance of it, but you got to figure out how you can get better at it, make more of it, just so that you can continue to improve. to embrace this kind of change. We just want to thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening to us share a couple of our stories, and we hope that some of the things that we covered in today's topic is going to help you guys figure out some of the difficult parts of growing up and growing apart from your friends.
And self-evaluate yourself too. Keep yourself accountable, and just try to find the right group and remember to embrace the struggles.
Just to quickly recap what we talked about navigating transitions in life, maintaining friendships, coping with change, and embracing those changes. Our goal is to help guide you guys through some of these challenges in life that you might be facing so that you can come out stronger and become a better person, not just for other people, but for yourself as well.
Yep, that's very important. So just remember all these little steps, and to always just focus on what really matters and don't get lost in all the negativity and the troubles that are going around you in the world, stuff like that, and through your big circles of friends and stuff like that.
Yeah. So thanks again for tuning in and listening to BFAM. I'm Kev.
And I'm Johnny. Johnny?
Oh, it sounded like John. That's new. If you guys like this video, be sure to drop a like. If you have any comments or suggestions, leave them in the box below. If you guys have any questions that you might want answered in future videos, please let us know. We'd be happy to make a video around it. And subscribe to this channel.
Subscribe.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.